Welcome back to the Dadskillz car channel. Something a little different today. Just my voice and hands, no face today. So I've been shopping on eBay and I've managed to come across all these brochures for the Austin Maxi, because one day that's a vehicle that I hope to own, that I would love to own, and it's got to be in this colour. It's got to be in this beautiful 70s orange. We're going to have a look through these brochures. We'll start with this one. This is probably the oldest one. And at this moment in time, it's still branded as the Austin Maxi. That'll change in the future, and we'll have a look at that in a moment. But why a Maxi? Well, I remember the Maxi was the first car I got to steer. And I got to steer that sat on Grandad's knee. And the first one he had was this orange colour, an older one. And like any Maxi, former Maxi owner will tell you, once you've had one, you've got to have another one. So he went from this sort of beautiful orange colour. He then went to a green one, which we actually inherited a few years later. He had swapped his car, and we got to have this green one as the family car. It was a real strange colour. It looks like it had been dumped in a swamp and then dragged out and never washed or polished ever since. It was a really strange colour. So 1969, ADO 14 as it was known, became the Austin Maxi, and it was released. They ended up selling about 500,000 cars in the end. But this was Alec Issigonis' last car that he designed. And there you go, you see you've got your transverse engine, typical Issigonis, transverse engine, gears in the sump, push the engine forward, gives you a lot more room inside. And there we go, hydroelastic suspension, used in the Austins and Morris's 1100s, 1300s. First car in Britain to have 5 speeds. This is a car that really was, in some ways, so far ahead of its time. But in other ways, when I was a boy riding around in our swamp green one, it felt like it was old-fashioned. But it's funny how you look back on those things. But now, I would love to own one. So now we've got a brochure that's a bit later. You can see that because the Austin has gone from across the front there. And we've got the Maxi badge in the middle. And so we've also got a few more another engine choice now. We've got a 1750 as well as the 1500. Now the original 1500, that's all it was a 1500. No other engine choices. And it was a cable shift gearbox as well, which was quite forward thinking as well, really. Like that wouldn't be an uncommon thing now, but back then it proved a bit troublesome, and so it basically had a relaunch in 1970, and they ended up putting a rod change to the gears in that. And you can see it is the big brother to the Mini Clubman, isn't it? If you put your hand there, that is pure Mini Clubman, that front end. With that chrome, it looks fantastic. And then you work your way to the back. Got that chrome on the wheel trims on the steel wheels, it looks fantastic. Work your way to the back, and it looks a bit like a shortened Land Crab, doesn't it? Austin 1800, 2200. And so when he was designing this, Alec Issigonis, he was told that we're going to have to use the doors from the Land Crab. So that was his big constraint when he started. Both of these doors are exactly the same as on the Land Crab. So you've got to use those doors. So that gives it quite a high profile at the front. And then we come to another one of its absolute groundbreaking designs, and that's this hatchback. There was only one more car in Europe that was doing that, and I think that was the Peugeot. I think it was the 16, I can't be sure. Something that was new at the time, no one knew they wanted, but now every single family car needs a hatchback, doesn't it? You need to be able to get the dog in there, get the shopping in there. Brown vinyl, everything was brown, wasn't it? Orange and brown. And you think those colours would went out of fashion? Well, you can guarantee they'll come back around. They'll be back in fashion one day if they're not in fashion now. Absolute settee of a pair of seats in the front there, isn't it? And this, I must admit that you've got the classic British wood fascia there, which is great. But I kind of like this original black plastic vinyl one. Still very similar though. I think you've got the 2 dials in the front there. And then a few easy to reach toggle type switches there. Now that's classic Maxi, isn't it? When we used to go out with Grandad on day trips, it's the perfect picnic car. It's the perfect family car. We used to sit in the back there, picnic would be handed out, tartan sheet on the floor, perfect. the perfect family car. So now we're getting into later models of the Maxi. We've got these underriders here under the chrome grille still, and we've got different levels now. So we've got this black and red check, yellow and black check. I can't see that one. Look at this. Look at that colour. And there we go. Look, extolling the virtue of the hatchback. Fantastic. And then they've got this lady here who I'm not sure what that's meant to signify, but she's looking wistfully, wantingfully, if that's a word, at the Maxi. And here we go. This is another big selling point at the time, is you fold the whole lot down and it becomes a double bed, so it's literally the original dogging car, isn't it? Great view all round, a bed inside. You find that somewhere in a off the beaten track country car park. There it is, the perfect dogging car. I don't think that was in the literature at the time though, to be fair. So I think we're going up the ranges here. So what have we got now? We've got the 1750, we've got the yellow and black check, we've got an auto, we've got a stick shift, not wood yet, so we're not at the top of the range, and we've got this bloke looking longingly on. That's cool. Now here we go. Look, you can tell we're in the 70s, and you can tell we're at the top of the range because this bloke has managed to find himself a moustache, so he must be very trendy. We're at the HL. We've got the black and red check. We've got twin carbs. The new HL has a power output of 95 brake horsepower. Wowzers. Fantastic. There we go. Look, there's some top of the range specs. We've now got our wooden gear knob with our 5 gears and a lift for reverse. And then this lady has obviously just been out for a nice trip in the countryside. She's taken her dogs with her in a hatchback. Fantastic. And then got some specs on the back. Right, let's whiz through these if these aren't much different. So we've still got these nice chrome door handles at the moment, and these people have been out to a nice fishing village somewhere. This guy, the up-and-coming exec, has been out on the building site. Architect, who needs a Saab when you've got a Maxi for all your gear to go in the back of. Look what you get in there, a washing machine. You can even get a whiskey in there. What's that, pint of whiskey? A Twix? And some of your tour guides. Fantastic. Not a head turner by any stretch of imagination. And they looked old-fashioned when they came out. To be honest, when I was younger, I didn't want to be seen dead in it because I thought it was a proper old granddad's car. But these things would have done the school run. They would have done the trip to the garden centre, tip runs. Brilliant family car. So we're now on to what would have been one of the last of the Maxis, the Maxi 2. So we're no longer Austin Maxi, we are just Maxi. And we've got an Austin badge on the front there, and we've got a bit upgraded sort of plasticky steering wheel, plastic gear knob, hubcaps. The indicator has now gone from there to the back here. I think this model is sort of 79, 80. The Maxi was finished production 81, 82, something like that. So they had something like a 12-year lifespan. As I say, they only sold really 500,000. They could have sold so many more when you think about it. And now the seats have gone to a sort of fabric-y. Look at that, laid them down again. Fabric finish. I remember it being so comfortable. There we go, extolling the hubcaps, the badge. That's every front room in the 70s, isn't it, that? Oh, okay. We're still Austin Morris here on this one, where, yeah, there we go, where some of these would have been Maxi from Austin Morris, but you've got the British Leyland roundel there. And then finally, we have an actual handbook that you would have got when you got your Austin Maxi. So what's this? This is 74. And we've got British Leyland there, Austin Maxi. So they haven't dropped the Austin yet. 1750, 1500. Here we go. Look, we've got lay care service. This tells us what everything is. So in the beginning, it was hydroelastic system like you saw in the Austins, the Morrises, the 11s, 1300s. And then in the end, it ended up being hydrogas, and that went into the Allegro. And it actually went into the MGF as well, didn't it? And when it became the TF, they dropped it and went to McPherson struts, I think. I remember those now. These door handles on the inside. That's what I remember. They made their way into everything, I think, from the Range Rover to everything. And then the ones on the outside that I remember on the Ital and the Allegro, they went into the Lotus, didn't they, I think? So there we go. That's my little roundup of all my eBay purchases. One day, you never know, we'll have one on the channel, a real one, and then I can go to all these events and meets and proudly take my British Leyland Austin Maxi Cowley, all built in Cowley. All of these built in Cowley. And then the E-Series engine was built in Longbridge and trucked down. Fantastic. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. I hope to do a few more of these with some of my other cars that I'd love to own. I'd love a Triumph Dolomite. That's on the list. Tell me if you want to see one. I'll see if I can get my hands on the brochures. That's just a brilliant picture to end on. Thank you very much. I'll see you again.